The Cayman Islands, a small Caribbean territory, has long been synonymous with secrecy and financial privacy. But why is it that so much money flows through these islands, despite their relatively small size? This question has intrigued economists, politicians, and the public for decades. The answer lies in its role as a global tax haven, a place where individuals and corporations can shield their wealth from scrutiny and taxation. In this video, we're going to explore the rise of the Cayman Islands as a tax haven, how it operates, who benefits, and the controversies it generates in the global financial system. The global financial system is complex and interconnected, and offshore tax havens like the Cayman Islands play a significant role in managing wealth. These havens provide a way for wealthy individuals, multinational corporations, and even governments to minimize their tax liabilities by routing money through jurisdictions with favorable tax conditions. Understanding the dynamics of the Cayman Islands as a tax haven is crucial because it sheds light on broader issues like global inequality, the influence of money in politics, and the effectiveness of international efforts to combat tax evasion and financial secrecy. In this video, we'll start by tracing the historical background of how the Cayman Islands became a financial hub, thanks to its favorable tax policies. We'll then delve into the specific mechanisms that facilitate the flow of money, such as offshore accounts, shell companies, and investment funds, before exploring the major players who benefit from these arrangements, including billionaires, corporations, and powerful politicians. Finally, we'll examine the darker side of the Cayman Islands, focusing on the controversies surrounding money laundering, the loss of tax revenue for governments, and international efforts to curb the abuse of these tax havens. The Cayman Islands began its journey as a financial center in the 1960s, when it introduced tax policies aimed at attracting offshore business. These policies included no income tax, no capital gains tax, and no inheritance tax, making it extremely attractive for individuals and companies looking to shield their wealth from taxation. The relatively low regulatory environment and the ease with which businesses could register companies added to its allure. Over time, the Cayman Islands developed a reputation for confidentiality and minimal government oversight, making it a preferred destination for hedge funds, investment funds, and multinational corporations seeking to optimize their tax positions. The key financial laws that govern the Cayman Islands include the Companies Law, which allows for the creation of corporations with limited reporting requirements, and the Mutual Funds Law, which provides a legal framework for the establishment of mutual funds with minimal regulation. These laws, combined with the island's status as a British overseas territory, afford it a level of protection from outside scrutiny. The lack of requirements for public disclosure and the ability to operate with little oversight has made the Cayman Islands a hotbed for tax evasion and financial secrecy. The strategic location of the Cayman Islands in the Caribbean is a significant factor in its development as a tax haven. Its close proximity to the United States and Latin America has facilitated easy access for international business transactions. Moreover, the Cayman Islands' political stability and the protection provided by British law have created an environment that is attractive to both investors and financial institutions. The islands have capitalized on their location by offering extensive international banking services, which, combined with their low tax regime, have made them an ideal destination for global money flow. Wealthy individuals, corporations, and hedge funds use the Cayman Islands to set up offshore accounts and shell companies to manage their finances discreetly. These entities allow them to separate their assets from their domestic jurisdictions, thereby avoiding taxes and regulations that would otherwise apply. By holding assets in shell companies registered in the Caymans, owners can maintain anonymity and protect their wealth from creditors and other interested parties. This system also provides a way to hedge investments and reduce liability, which is particularly appealing to those with substantial financial interests. The Cayman Islands is a favorite location for hedge funds and private equity firms due to its flexible regulatory environment. Funds can be set up with minimal reporting requirements, and the Cayman Islands is known for its lack of exchange controls, which allows for easy movement of capital. Many hedge funds and investment vehicles opt for Cayman accounts because they offer substantial tax advantages, including exemption from capital gains tax and no withholding tax on dividends paid to foreign investors. This makes it possible for fund managers to maximize returns and minimize taxes, attracting a significant amount of investment capital from around the world. One of the main attractions of the Cayman Islands is its ability to facilitate financial transactions through legal loopholes. The lack of stringent regulations and requirements for transparency means that businesses and individuals can avoid the full extent of their tax obligations. This has led to the Cayman Islands being labeled as a haven for tax evasion, as it enables wealthy individuals and corporations to exploit gaps in international tax agreements and hide their wealth offshore. These legal structures create a complex web of secrecy that makes it difficult for authorities to trace financial flows and enforce tax laws effectively. The Cayman Islands offers significant benefits to billionaires and multinational corporations by allowing them to reduce their tax liabilities and protect their assets. Many of the world's wealthiest individuals and global corporations use the Caymans as a base for their financial operations because of the favorable tax environment and the ability to maintain privacy. By registering companies and holding assets in the Caymans, they can take advantage of the absence of capital gains and inheritance taxes, which significantly reduces their overall tax burden. This system is often criticized as it enables a select few to accumulate wealth while avoiding their fair share of tax contributions to the countries where they do business. Banks and other financial institutions play a crucial role in facilitating transactions through the Cayman Islands. These institutions provide the necessary banking services that allow for the creation of offshore accounts, the formation of shell companies, and the management of large investment funds. They also offer services like trust management and custody of assets, which are essential for the operations of the global financial elite. The financial industry in the Cayman Islands has grown rapidly, driven by demand from international clients seeking tax optimization and financial privacy. The role of these institutions is pivotal in sustaining the Cayman Islands' reputation as a major tax haven. Powerful global leaders and political figures are often linked to the Cayman Islands in the context of offshore wealth. The secrecy provided by the Caymans allows these individuals to manage their financial assets without public scrutiny, which can be beneficial for both personal wealth accumulation and political influence. There have been numerous reports and investigations linking politicians to offshore accounts in the Caymans, raising questions about transparency and accountability in global governance. The influence of these political figures adds a layer of complexity to the criticism faced by the Cayman Islands, as their involvement can be seen as both legitimizing and complicating the use of tax havens. The Cayman Islands has been frequently criticized for its role in facilitating money laundering, corruption, and illegal financial activities. The ease with which individuals can set up anonymous shell companies makes it an attractive destination for those involved in illicit financial transactions. The lack of transparency and stringent regulation means that it is difficult for authorities to monitor financial flows and identify criminal activities. This has led to the Cayman Islands being used as a base for money laundering operations, with substantial amounts of illicit money flowing through its financial institutions. The use of the Cayman Islands as a tax haven has significant implications for global tax systems and government revenue. By allowing multinational corporations and wealthy individuals to avoid taxes, the Cayman Islands contributes to a system where tax revenues are drained from the economies of other countries. This undermines public services and welfare systems, leading to a greater inequality between rich and poor. The widespread use of the Caymans for tax avoidance has prompted international organizations like the OECD and G20 to push for reforms and greater transparency in global tax systems to prevent the erosion of national tax bases. Despite numerous attempts by global organizations to curb tax evasion and financial secrecy, the Cayman Islands remains one of the most popular tax havens in the world. The OECD's efforts to blacklist countries that do not comply with international tax standards and the G20's focus on combating tax havens have highlighted the controversy surrounding the use of offshore accounts. The Cayman Islands has been criticized for being resistant to international calls for reform and for continuing to attract large sums of global wealth through its tax-friendly policies. The ongoing debate over the ethical and economic implications of tax havens continues to challenge global policymakers and financial institutions. In recent years, there has been a growing global movement aimed at curbing the influence of tax havens like the Cayman Islands. International organizations, such as the OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and the G20 have been pushing for greater transparency in financial transactions and stricter regulations to prevent tax evasion and money laundering. One major development is the Common Reporting Standard, CRS, which requires financial institutions to report information about foreign account holders to their home countries. Many tax havens, including the Cayman Islands, have been under pressure to comply with these new standards. While the Cayman Islands has made some efforts to increase transparency, critics argue that the changes are not enough and that offshore secrecy remains largely intact. Governments are also working to combat the proliferation of shell companies and anonymous trusts, which have long been used to hide wealth in these havens. As the world moves toward greater financial transparency, many question whether the Cayman Islands will continue to be a dominant player in the offshore tax haven game. Despite international pressure, the Cayman Islands has managed to remain a top choice for tax avoidance due to its favorable laws, strategic location, and the financial industry's vested interest in keeping it operational. However, with increasing scrutiny from both governments and the public, there is growing concern that the system may not be sustainable in the long run. Governments around the world are tightening their tax laws, and some are threatening to impose penalties on countries that harbor these offshore entities. The global push for tax fairness, combined with the rapid advancements in technology, may eventually force a shift in the way offshore tax havens operate. It's possible that future reforms will render the current system obsolete, or at the very least significantly reduce its influence. The rise of emerging financial technologies like blockchain and cryptocurrency is beginning to challenge traditional tax havens. Blockchain technology, with its ability to create decentralized financial systems, offers a new level of transparency that could make it harder to hide wealth or evade taxes. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which operate independently of traditional financial institutions, present both opportunities and challenges for tax havens. On one hand, they provide a way for individuals to bypass the banking system entirely, potentially reducing the need for tax havens. On the other hand, cryptocurrencies can be used to facilitate transactions in a manner that is even harder to trace than traditional methods, potentially reinforcing the need for more secure and anonymous jurisdictions like the Cayman Islands. As governments around the world grapple with regulating cryptocurrency, it remains to be seen how this new financial technology will influence the future of offshore tax havens. The Cayman Islands has long been a center for global wealth, with its tax-friendly laws, minimal regulation, and financial secrecy attracting billions of dollars each year. From its rise as a financial hub in the 1960s to its role in facilitating shell companies, investment funds, and tax avoidance, the Caymans have remained at the heart of the offshore tax haven system. However, as international regulatory crackdowns intensify and new technologies like blockchain and cryptocurrency emerge, the future of tax havens like the Cayman Islands is uncertain. The global pressure for transparency and fairness in the tax system is growing, and while the Caymans continues to be a major player, it may not remain unscathed for much longer. What do you think about the future of tax havens? Are they a necessary part of the global financial system, or do they need to be reformed to ensure fairness for all? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinion on this important issue.